G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. So today's episode is some more good news, I'm pretty sure, which is good. So yesterday I think I mentioned I had a friend's wedding down in Sale in Victoria. So a very nice long road trip, lots of songs sung. It was very cathartic. And as I said in the previous episode, driving with music is one of, if not my best coping strategy. So, it was about 10 hours in the saddle, but we got here, and I tell you, we had a bloody good time too. The wedding was good. Catching up with the schoolmates who I haven't seen for ages. It's like we've never, it's like we've never left. It was, and I think that's a true testament to the strength of friendships, which is, unfortunately life gets in the way and it gets hard to see each other consistently. But when you do see each other, you just pick up from where you left off. And I think that's a real testament to our friendships. And we were all like that, all of us. It was great. It was the same stupid jokes being made that weren't that funny 15 years ago, but, you say them again because it just feels right. So, no, it was really good. Really enjoyed it. The wedding was a high-risk situation, definitely. I haven't seen my psychologist this week, but I know what he would say about this whole event, that is definitely for someone like me, or let's just say me, it would be a very high-risk situation because, well, there's alcohol and probably other substances as well, which I can't confirm or deny. So there's all like substances going around that can amplify some of those negative feelings that maybe I took in there, even though I was able to diminish them as best as I could. So I was very, very happy about that too. So I was excited. I was really excited. And I really wanted to see my friends tie the knot. It's, I talk a lot about, I'm bitter and jaded and I want all these stuff that other people take for granted, blah, blah, blah. But nobody does these things easily. It's not easy for anybody. Hasn't been easy for them over the years, but I tell you what, they've got through it, and it was amazing. I was even crying at one point because you know me, very emotional. So I had tears welling up in my eyes. It was beautiful. It was great, but it was also going to be triggering, and this is probably the main trigger because this one can then feed the substance abuse as a coping mechanism there, a coping strategy. And that was the fact that now pretty much all of my friends, my school friends all my mates I went to school with, they're all just about married now, got mortgages and have children. And I've got none of those things. And I know people say to me all the time, "Oh, Elliot, you're only 33, mate. There is so much time left. Stop stressing. It'll be fine. She's going to be out there somewhere." But I don't know. I've met people and had relationships with people that I thought would be the one, and it all crumbled very much the same way. Each of them definitely pretty much crumbled the same way. And there's no questions about this either. The alcohol was certainly one of the driving factors because, again, it amplifies those positive but also very negative feelings. And that's what it certainly did in this case, in the past. So, but it is hard, weddings are important and, you see your mates you haven't seen for ages, so you're reflecting on the good old days in high school, chucking hats and bags into the fans and throwing dusters around and, just stupid stuff that I miss so much. I miss it so much. But so obviously, within that context, obviously, a bit of rumination tends to slip in. And when I've had a couple of drinks, those walls that keep the ruminations away, they tend to go down a little bit and we get a little bit of that negative thinking about the past. And then there's also, at the other end of the scale, the future, the anxiety stuff there, because the question that I was asking myself quite regularly last night was, will I ever get the opportunity to do something like this? I really hope I do. Like don't get me wrong, that reason why I was crying because it was just beautiful. I've known I've known Jacko and Irene, who are listeners to the podcast too, I might add. So hello to you, newlyweds. It was beautiful, and it's great to see friends, kicking along, kicking goals, and just making the most of their lives. It's brilliant. I love to see it. It's really good. There is definitely no resentment on that front, that's for sure. But at the same time, although I'm not resentful, I am still sort of hopeful, although that hopeful flame is starting to dim a little bit. But I am sort of, hopeful that my time will come sooner rather than later. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Of course, on this podcast, I will let you know every step of the way how that goes. But to conclude this episode, though, I do want to finish it on a high, because it was a high. It was a really good night, seeing people I hadn't seen for ages, and not just people from school, or maybe from school, but from different years at school, year below or whatever. And it's like, yeah, how good was that when we used to throw like fruit at each other across the basketball courts? It was great. Yeah, anyway, bit stupid, but it was funny. But we were reminiscing, we had all that sort of stuff, and it was very comforting. Like it really felt like, I don't know, my world at the moment is very chaotic, and it's mostly my fault. And I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin, and at times I'm sort of losing track of what we're actually trying to achieve. And if I sign up to these various projects, and then I think later, am I in the headspace to actually do these presentations or do these speeches at more suicide prevention ceremonies that came up soon? They've asked me to do an opening speech on behalf of the lived experience people, which is a great honour. I am scared shitless, but it is a great honour. But sometimes it feels like my life is sort of splintered a bit into these different sort of areas. But when I meet all my mates up and we have a good time together, have a couple of beers, it is like the old days, and it's very comforting. It's not even nostalgic, really. It's just, I don't know if it's like you feel safe, because it's like, right, this is my people, they've known me forever. There's no judgments here. We don't have to put an act on, we just go for it. So, yeah, very interesting. I don't know, very interesting. But I tell you, I'm looking forward to the drive home, because there's going to be plenty to be thinking about. There's going to be plenty of songs, AC/DC, Oasis, that I need to be singing. And this voice is already struggling. And I reckon tomorrow, when I leave Sale, Victoria, head back up to Newcastle, New South Wales, I think the old voice might be just about gone. But anyway, that tells me that I've had a good time. So big thumbs up there. All right. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. I do appreciate it. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at elliot.t.waters, or you can follow the show at the Dysregulated.podcast. And you can also give the show a great rating on Spotify. 4.9 stars, 53 ratings. I still don't know who it was that voted 4 stars, but I'll tell you what, I reckon I can change if they're still listening, I reckon I can change their minds. But anyway, it's all good for the algorithm. Anyway, what's also good is you guys tuning in, and I appreciate it as always. I really do. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated Wow, I went so good. The Dysregulated podcast.